You're looking live at CyHawkThoughts Studio. Steve Myers right here. My name's Chuck Utek. How's everyone doing tonight?
To be honest with you, I love when you lead off. I love it. We're gonna do that for a while.
Let's do it.
Because I can't keep from smiling. Big week was the week of week 7. Iowa. Double overtime win at Michigan State. You said Michigan State might score 24. You don't know how Iowa's gonna score 25. Well, tell you what, they didn't need to.
Thank God.
They only needed to score 19, Chuck.
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about that game.
All right. Well, Iowa won.
And this is Chuck Utek, the one and the only.
Good to see you. All right. So Iowa wins. And kind of like the Penn State game in 2009 where they looked pretty crappy for 3 quarters. Well, actually not 2009, 2008 when they upset Penn State at Iowa. 2009 game, they looked pretty crappy for 3 quarters until they got the pump block, but different game. They came alive in the 4th quarter. You know, whenever there's a 2nd and 26, I guess that's a good thing. 4th and 26 if you're the Eagles going against the Packers in a playoff game. 2nd and 26 if you're Iowa with your back against the wall and about 4 minutes to go. Converted because, hey, they went vertical for one of the few times this year. It was great. Then, you got a 3rd and 5 play. Boy, what should we do?
Run the ball.
Let's run it off left tackle because no one's looking for that play. And it worked. And Weissman got hurt in the midst of all the celebration. All of a sudden he came up hurt at the end after a touchdown. That's okay. We'll figure it out. We're Iowa. Got the win. Mike Myers, you scared the heck out of me kicking field goals, buddy. But you get one of my 3 and outs because good job out of you. 4 field goals, tough conditions. Going to need it this week too because I don't know how many touchdowns Iowa's going to score. I don't know how many field goals they're going to score either, but we're going to need it. So good job out of you. Good job out of the defense. Anthony Hitchens is a beast. And good luck to Iowa's running game next week. I don't know how you're going to do it. Greg Garman, next man in.
3 and out, people. 1 to Myers. And then the rest is going to kind of go Hawks.
1 to defense, including Anthony Hitchens. And 1 to
go Hawks.
Running game.
Garmin next man.
Whoever.
All right. A discombobulated 3 and 0. 3 and out. 3 and 0. I can't even say 3 and out either. So
3 and out.
Let's just put it this way. It's going to be one of those shows. Okay. We've got. There wasn't much preparation.
Well, when you have these planning meetings, and sometimes you need to do a lot with the planning meetings.
Our assistants weren't there, so
yeah, exactly. And sometimes you don't want to do a lot with the planning meetings and all the strategy sessions that we have. Sometimes it's better to go with the flow.
I agree.
Rock and roll.
Every once in a while, it's good just to kind of wing it, and that's exactly what we're doing today. Wasn't a whole lot of preparation, just the way
they had to wing it in Columbia, Missouri last weekend. Call an audible.
Yeah.
Little whatever, however you call that, audible.
Yeah, I'm not. Tell you what. I heard a funny joke. The only way that Missouri can stop Alabama from scoring is to bring in a monsoon.
That's right.
And for 30 minutes, they did not score.
Yeah.
But sad to say, Missouri's 0-4, 0-3 in the SEC.
Glad they made that move.
Yeah, I'm sure that the president is enjoying the move, and I'm sure the fan base is enjoying the move as well. You gave the money sign, but after the new Big 12 deal, then that money sign does not mean so much anymore.
Big 12's got all the money.
Now the Big 12 has a lot of the money. Speaking of the Big 12, I will make that lovely transition to Iowa State versus the top 5 Kansas State Wildcats. Boy, was it a fun game. The weather broke up just in time for the game. It was perfect throughout the game. And it was 27-21. And tell you what, I said it last week. We talked about it. Chuck and I agreed. It's going to be a time of possession type game. Kansas State had the time of possession for 40 minutes and 54 seconds, basically 41 minutes of that game. Iowa State basically had it for 19 minutes of the game. 41 minutes, and we only allowed 27 points against that offense with Colin Klein at the helm. Our defense is good. Very, very good.
To play devil's advocate a little bit, was any of it to do with how Kansas State runs their offense? 4 yards, 5 yards?
No, you're right.
I didn't get to see all the game because whoever powers that be put both games on at the same time, which sucks.
Yes, it did.
And no, Brock, I'm trying to act like you this week. So, how much of that is Kansas State, kind of like the old Navy teams that are going to take 10 minutes to drive and, take 3 plays first down, 3 plays first down, 3 plays first down, score on a 2-yard play, do this. How much of it is a factor of that, and how much is it they couldn't score? They had to be content because of the Iowa State defense, because they couldn't go deep or they couldn't have a big play, so they had to be very passive.
Well, let's. It's a good question. Okay, so Kansas State does control a lot of the clock. Okay, and that has to do with their offense. There isn't a question about it. So yes, you're right in that fact. Okay, they also, however, are the 15th best offense in the nation, scoring almost 41 per game. So, along with time of possession, these Wildcats put up points. Okay? So, usually they're not averaging, I don't know, they might be in the neighborhood of 40 minutes a game, I'm not sure. But they're averaging over a point per minute. Okay? Not against Iowa State. They were like 0.6. Okay, so yes, they did run the ball. They did do the whole, wind down the clock, get points when needed, hit a field goal after a 5-minute drive, that type of a thing, okay? It would not have been that high or that big of a difference had Iowa State's offense in the fourth quarter, or the third quarter for that matter, really string some really good drives together. It was more so a lack of our offense giving K-State time of possession than it was our defense. And that's what it boiled down to. They put up 51 points, 52 points, 35 points, 56 points. Iowa State, 27. And they had only 24 against Oklahoma as well.
If Iowa State had Colin Klein, they would have number of wins.
6.
For the year?
For the year right now. 6-0.
Okay, I was gonna say totally. So out of a 12-game season, they would have
11 wins.
Okay, I am in agreement. I would say about 10-2, but yeah, probably 5-1, 6-0.
Yeah, and I don't know. We're not losing to K-State because they don't have Colin Klein.
There you go.
So
hey,
if that was your one loss,
who you got now? I mean, nothing against Barnett. The kid's trying it, and I see it. Trying to maybe at times do too much, maybe at times not showing that he's trying to do enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little bit of
but at the same time, I'm not even going to compare. Barnett, you're doing what you can, but you're not a Colin Klein. That's all there is to it. Okay?
Different skill sets.
If we have Colin Klein, we're 6-0, and we're the number 3 team in the BCS. Okay? That's with our strength of schedule right now.
And that's where I wanted to kind of go with this is, and I think you're going to agree with me on this, Iowa State, if they had an RG3 like last year in Baylor, and I think Iowa State has much better defense than Baylor had last year, I mean, without question, or a Colin Klein this year, or, pick your quarterback, or him. How do they get that guy? Not to just totally bomb on what you were talking about with the game, but I mean, that's... There's a guy, I thought about this after the game, watch the end, I'm like, they are so close. How do they get that guy? How do they find, get him, keep him, and get it done? Because that's how close I think they are to being 4-2 and 6-0.
With Iowa State right now, I think you have to do what Iowa State does best, and what Kansas State really does best, and that is, for schools like that, you have to go to the JUCO ranks. It's very rare that you're going to get a top 20 high school quarterback if you don't have a name for yourself, and K-State and Iowa State are a couple of those type of schools that really don't have names for themselves right now.
And even Nebraska has done that before and not gotten any traction that way.
So, you go and grab a Colin Klein, or you go and grab a Seneca Wallace, and that's where if Seneca Wallace had the defense that this team has, sky's the limit for that 2002 team. We faltered. We went down. But, our defense was like Baylor or West Virginia's defense. We'd give up 36 points a game, 37 points a game. And you can't continually give up that amount and successfully have a winning season, in my opinion.
Unless you're scoring 50 points a game.
Exactly. Our defense this year is a Big 12 championship caliber defense, okay? I'd say right now it boils down to Oklahoma and Iowa State for best defense. I think Texas kind of, the last couple of games, has proven that they're not the defense everyone thought they were.
No.
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 K-State's defense is good.
Belldozer just scored again.
Exactly. K-State's defense is good, but not great Iowa State offense. Had the ball 19 minutes and put up 21 points. So, take it for what it's worth. They did dial it up when they needed to dial it up. So, congratulations to K-State. I'm going to be honest with you. I hope they win the Big 12. Let's see a different team. I don't want to see Oklahoma anymore. I don't want to see Texas. And I sure don't want to see West Virginia, who just popped into our conference. So go K-State.
Especially with West Virginia, because it means probably having to win the Iowa State game at Thanksgiving to
do it.
To seal that deal, and we don't want that.
Yes, and potentially, this weekend's a big game for both of them. They play each other.
There you go.
So, anyway, go K-State. Good luck. I met some great fans out there, to be honest with you, tailgating. So, I guess I'm rooting for K-State from this point on. But that kind of summed the game. Our defense played great. Offense just wasn't there enough. But you know what? It was Farmageddon, and it was a close game again. So,
hey.
That's about it I have on that, Chuck.
All right. Let's talk about next week.
Okay, let's talk about
Saturday.
Saturday works. Do we do Iowa or Iowa State?
You got the early game.
All right, we got the early game. It is another 11 o'clock kickoff. This one we do not have to go up there at the butt crack of dawn to go see, or at least get a spot or whatever. But it is at Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State's probably thinking a little revenge. Maybe,
possibly.
Did we ruin their national championship title hopes?
It's a fact.
It is a fact. They might be a little upset. Am I scared? I was at the beginning of the year. I was like, we're going to go down there and they're just going to be ticked and they're going to roll us. Then, however, I started watching them.
I don't think they're that good.
They beat Texas 20-14. Or not Texas, Kansas. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Kansas 20-14. Kansas can be a thorn in people's sides. Okay, they've got some moxie down there in Lawrence for a pretty bad team, but I'm sorry, Oklahoma State is not the team of last year. It no longer scares me. I have us losing this game in my preseason prediction. I'm changing that around right now.
Look at that. He's changing. You heard it here first.
I can't go back and change that because that is the predictions I made. However, right now I'm calling an Iowa State win, and I'm calling a win by more than 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
That's what I'm doing.
Wow. You heard that here first, too.
And if and if it's anything like that Iowa game that I said Iowa was going to beat Michigan State, I hope it is. Let's just say I hope it is.
Yeah.